What happens to the top right hand side, our red Terran player. This is TY. Up against the blue Protoss on the top left hand side, we've got herO. To get this up and running, game number 1. Best of 7 time in this TvP. How exciting. I mean, another TvP, okay, but TY played magnificently against Cess. The only time though he fell apart was when Cess went for that Adept Oracle attack. And again, I feel like herO is a much more aggressive player and is definitely one to play some of those cheekier builds we saw in that last series. And that might just be, if that was the weakness of TY against Cess, maybe that's what herO can exploit here to try and find a win in this series. So TY, our Terran hope right now as we see the SCV turning away that probe from the natural expansion. This probe has to pull back down to the bottom side of the map. As we see the command center coming into the natural, the Nexus dropping down, and our early game TvP setup looking as it has done all day long. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, I will just say as well, thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't already. See when we're live in the future. I'm live all this week with the Katowice after party by myself and Take TV. That continues tomorrow evening. And yeah, hit that follow to see what I'm casting. Is the whole plan. As we do see this SCV coming in, probe. Being a little bit annoying, will be cleaned out here though. So probe dropping down on the Hellion now from TY on the way up in the main base. But the Adept's coming over as well. I mean, that gateway on the low ground, Chrono Boosted Adept, it still arrives pretty fast, even on a larger map like Year Zero. Just gonna see this Adept is nibbling away at the reactor here as we see the Reaper from TY coming through the middle of the map as well. Stalker gets a couple of shots on it. These Adepts still being a nuisance across the map. This next command center is still not finishing up. As we do see Marines SCV. I mean, they're able to push this back now finally, but again, it's been a long delay. Reaper goes straight across and sees the Robo facility follow up as well. It's not being aggressive though, straight into an Observer. As you do see the couple of Adepts are still being chased down. Taking a while to get rid of here, actually. I mean, at least the command center finishes finally. It's taken a long time, so here is a good delay in the very early stages. Adept is going to down. Well, actually starts to shade it away now. For a moment, it looked like he was just going to shade it up here, which was just going to trap him in. Adept going to shade forwards up this ramp. Going to see the Warp Prism on the way out as well. Currently being Chrono Boosted. Twilight Council was about to be placed, but then does get brought back. Okay, built it now, just relocating where it was. I think he just realized he didn't want it all in this kind of gap here on the low ground. There's one pylon, by the way, powering all 4 of these structures currently. I'll be in Cybercore too, but you don't really need power on that so far. Warp Prism does bring a couple of Adepts across, looking for some more aggression, but it means that he's completely defenseless in the main base. Wouldn't mind. Well, we saw this is definitely herO's weakness so far. These little drops. He's taken so much damage to this already. 8 workers down. And he is setting up with a large army to move into the natural. I think TY is realizing this, and so he's like, okay, well, I'm going to start pulling my natural away in towards the main. He's got a Liberator here that can help out. Prism can maybe elevate these units up into a different spot, but now the Siege Shank coming in. His medevac units is pulling back. Where is that Warp Prism? There it is. Actually has just joined up with the army in the last couple of moments. So Warp Prism with a couple of Adepts inside. 11 probes killed by TY. Puts him into a worker lead. Wow, after such a delay on the command center too. herO allowing TY back into this a little bit as now the Liberator and the tank will come down to the low ground. And there is enough to turn this away as well. Marines coming back in too. Scan to get rid of the Observer. A couple of SCVs down, and there is going to be another one dropping at least in the main base. There's 3 Adepts back in over here. Marines will go and respond to that. SCVs just pulling around, minimizing the damage. Gives herO back a worker lead in the game, 34 to 31. Charge on the way up as well. Going to be seeing extra gateways coming down. Another gate or 2 off to the right-hand side. And we are going to be seeing, well, 5 gates, charge, barracks, all coming in at the moment. Factory moves off the tech lab, and the barracks will jump onto that tech lab in the next few moments. Barracks jumping over to the tech lab here. As you do see, again, Stalkers dropping down behind the mineral line. Taking off an SCV so far, Marines pressing through and already dealing some decent damage. Stalkers having to lift back up. Good back and forth in the early game of game 1 on Year Zero here. One of the larger maps we have in the map pool alongside King's Cove. It's nice to see these games, despite starting off so aggressively, having that tendency to then extend and to play out a little bit. Just want to see how it turns out. As you see, well, now the Stalkers in the fight from the siege tank can't do much. They still deny the SCV on that depot though. As you can see, TY quite eager to just finish this wall off. Engineering bay coming down, can get upgrades from this as well. A lot of Zealots warping in. With Archons about to come in from the Dark Shrine, herO is all in. He has just been building up into a ton of gateways on these two bases. Good back and forth so far. He's actually going to use double prism to elevate it up to the main. Well, that's not going to be too successful. There's so many Marines here. Absolutely no way does this work, and TY is just immediately in position. Oh my god, is it going to work? He's going to be able to pull back into the little choke point here. The other defensive units on the low ground. The Raven probably doesn't know what to do for the best just yet. Interference Matrix as he kills. Oh, that's so sick. He interference matrixes a high health prism, knowing he'll kill the lower health prism to stop the warp in. Absolutely sick stuff by TY. He has such good decision making when it comes to those Ravens. He's used his Ravens amazingly all day long today, and that's another perfect example of it. Wow, great usage of the Raven. Now I was saying, I mean, what do you do for the best? And I think that's the best option. Stop that huge solid warp in from coming in. Very nicely done. Man, this looks scary as well. For the first few moments, the Zealots actually getting elevated up quite quickly. Looked like, oh my god, they're doing something. I actually feel like if the extra Zealots had finished warping in, he probably would have been able to make this happen. What was really interesting though is he built the Dark Shrine. He never used the DTs. He didn't even make an Archon or two like he has done now for that first attack. That could have been a bit of a game changer as well. Obviously, was maybe expecting to get, I don't know, maybe just felt he had the opportunity. I think herO is getting a bit ahead of himself though now as TY just needs to keep on holding on. I mean, an attack on the natural won't work, right? We've got this wall off here, Widow Mines, tank, Liberator. Marines in the main, double Raven now to try and shut down any sort of play. Obviously, if a Warp Prism flies in, he just interference matrix that and it instantly shuts it down. We're now just going to be seeing the Zealots and Archons going to start pushing up. Then this is where the Widow Mines will just want to burrow up, and the Zealots will have a very tough time doing much. Warp Prism just unloads a single DT on the low ground. Obviously, the Raven there to provide detection against the Dark Templar, although does need to go and get in position. The other Raven sees the Warp Prism as the stim in. This 7 worker skill, not a bad Dark Templar by any stretch of the imagination. The problem is herO just has no, again, length of longevity in this army. It is designed to win the game now or never because there's no upgrades, there's no follow-ups. Going into Templar Archives is, I mean, stim is done, combat shields and +1 attack about to be done for our Terran player. TY has everything he needs. The Archon's going to drop in the back here. I mean, doesn't really do much either. A couple of Widow Mines. Could maybe position back here to stop that Warp Prism coming in if it was a real threat. Love the fact that one of the Ravens goes across the map, drops some order turrets, just being an annoyance at the moment. Be annoying. Deal some damage. Although, shield battery is there. Let's see if he still wants to with the shield battery. Looks like he will. And I guess you can target down the same probe with the order turrets and we'll get a kill a little bit faster, although currently he actually spent a lot of time fighting the Zealot. Out on the map, herO's army is being found because, well, TY's decided to move out. Oh my god, the Widow Mines are going to massacre those Archons. They get blown up instantly. Can't lift into the prison because, again, the interference matrix is cast on it. Stops it from being able to lift up and drop down. So another great play with that. I mean, these Ravens are just absolutely game-changing from TY. I'd be surprised if we see a game in this series without a Raven from TY because of how much use he's getting out of them. He's just able to get so much done. Medevac units loads up. It's just going to be Widow Mines to hit this mineral line. That's something a shield battery cannot protect you from. And herO definitely has shown weaknesses to Widow Mine plays today. He's, I mean, multiple times lost so many workers to Widow Mines. As TY just extends his lead at the moment. You see the bio coming in. Just going to see this Medevac. Gonna just jump forwards a few Widow Mines. Gonna start unloading. The Widow Mines is gonna blow up on the Zealots, and you do see the rest of the bio coming down through the bottom side. Medevac coming across through the top. A little bit of an attack coming in then. Templar getting warped in. We do have TY continuing up towards the upper left-hand side. Two more Zards getting set to go. Again, those Widow Mines continue to press forwards here. Templar hits a speed back or so. Obviously, the Widow Mines are just a big threat at the moment. Big Storm does go off. Anti-Armor Missile hits on the Archon and a couple of the High Templars. Zealots still looking to charge on into this here. The Bio is going to press on forward. The Storm is good. The Storms are really helping to defend this. The Widow Mines, though, not just hitting the Archon, splashing onto High Templar and getting kills there. Dropping the main base means probes are going down as well. And this is going to be a big issue as we see this army now of TY backing away through the bottom side. Picks off that shield battery in the end. These couple of High Templars get a feedback and will morph into an Archon in time. There's a Widow Mine or two coming off. As this command center going to drop down onto the third base. Again, auto turret just dropping in behind the natural expansion. Pylon taking a few more shots as well. And you just see the Liberator from TY setting up on this high ground. The mines are going to burrow up, and the Raven coming back in towards the army. A couple more Liberators setting up as well. War Prism +1 armor. Continuing along here. Liberator on the way out. And Ghost Academy just dropping down in this main base. Again, that's set up to go at the moment, and again, a few more mules just continuing to come into play. Continuing to mine away crazily. And TY finally getting a third base up and running is obviously very nice for him. He still has a big lead in this game. Upgrades, army supply, work account. Just a case of finding some fights that will truly put all of that into action and find an end to this. Turret taking quite a lot, dealing quite a lot of damage to that War Prism here. Ends up backing away through the top side. Again, the Bio gathering together. TY with a very defensive setup for the moment, but don't be mistaken. He's going to turn aggressive as soon as he just feels comfortable. Maybe just waiting for those ghosts to come into play here. Get those ghosts out and go from there. As that Medevac setting up to the top. War Prism coming along over to the left-hand side now. Observer through the middle of the map as well. And then again, the Marine just patrolling around up on this high ground. This Bio Force coming in from TY, gathering up. Well, a couple of disruptors coming in, Blinking +1 still coming through as well, getting this set up. A few moments just calm before the storm. You see this War Prism coming around the right-hand side. Wants to obviously try and set up and get a little bit of an attack onto this third or fourth base. And this main base orbital has relocated. Means it's not a plan B fortress though. It's always one of the weaknesses. Storm on top of the High Templar would have preferred, or the Ghost, sorry, would have preferred to see a couple of feedbacks. EMP is still available. First Widow Mine shot kills a Stalker. Liberator is just going to unsiege and slowly press forwards here. TY taking his time about it. He's got the time. That's the thing. The Disruptor is obviously scary to push into. You don't want to go in too quickly. TY just being very slow, very patient, and again, approaching this in the correct way so far. The War Prism goes down. There's still the one with the High Templars in, coming around the top side, looking to flank with the Storms. Oh, Medevac's actually loaded up here. The Storms won't do much in the end as TY decides to back off. As the auto turrets coming back into the natural, instantly some Stalkers warping in. Actually, we'll see the Stalkers dying off those auto turrets. Oh my god, picking up huge amounts of damage. 5-6 kills on probes, plus the fact he did so much with the killing the Stalkers too. Drop in the main, and herO was in the middle of the map. Is he just going to keep moving across the map? He might. Blink isn't done just yet though, and that might go down before it's finished. He focuses it down. He's going to try and chrono boost it to save it. It's going to be super close tonight. In the center of the map, we see a little bit of Bio trying to fight already. And obviously, again, turning this into a full-on base trade. Probably one of the better things herO could have hoped for, but I mean, reality is I don't think you win the base trade anyways as herO. TY splits away from the Disruptors. A couple of tanks defending as well. It's just whittling away at that army of herO. Good Storms coming down, but it's very good splits as well from TY. All the High Templar die. The War Prism will fall as well. That's the GG. And TY will find game one of this best of 7. On the command center. TY was really able to turn this last game around. So let's see what left-hand side, our red Terran player from Splice This is TY. Up against the blue Protoss in the bottom right corner of the map, we have got herO. Alright, pylon dropping down here. Getting this set up to go. It's going to be again that low ground gateway once again. So definitely opens up the opportunity of potentially a faster depth coming across the map. So that's something to keep in mind for the moment. So gateway on the way up, barracks and a refinery dropping in on the top left hand side, and an SCV of TY currently on the way out as well. So that's about a pop. And TY going to come down to the low ground and head across the map. Nice little peaceful start up here to get us going on the wonderful cyber forest. I should turn the jacket inside out to hide the staff. Fucking 200 IQ plays from the Twitch chat, man. I could just wear it inside, you know. That also works. You see this SCV hanging out in the natural, going to be hopping up into the main base. Reaper coming up towards completion in the next few moments. Command Center dropping down on the other side of the map with TY as well. And just going to be seeing the Nexus about halfway done at the moment. So Nexus about halfway done. Getting this going as we do have the Cybercore just about the Command Center just about halfway done. The Cybercore's finishing and starting Warp Gate. Ah, nice peaceful start up here. Intrigued to see what herO comes out with again. It's one of these maps where some aggressive attacks definitely work out. It's definitely within the realm of possibility. Here's the faster depth, although it looks like he'll turn around to deal with the Reaper. As the Reaper hops straight in and starts to pick away at a couple of these probes. Able to get rid of one probe already. Second probe going down as well. So 2 probes already picked off as TY now hopping down to the low ground, and this Adept still chasing this Reaper. Reaper is going to fall. So Reaper going down here, and we see the Stargate on the way up from herO over in the main base. So changing it up, but we've definitely seen opportunities to be aggressive with Stargates today. Multiple Oracles with Adept attacks. Let's see how many Oracles he ends up building, as we do see just some very, very quick barracks from TY. Not really going to go into the starport at all here then, just straight into extra racks, straight into a bio play. Cyclone to help him defend early game, especially without the starport. That's a nice little addition to have, and it's going to be very good against this Oracle. So those extra racks going to be finishing up in the next few moments. A couple of Adepts will shade forwards here as well, up through the natural in towards the main base. A couple of depots will raise, those Adepts will be blocked away from entering. And herO is going to go into, okay, a really fast third base then. So he's not messing around. This game he's going to like macro. Super fast third, the Oracles to kind of buy him time on the map and to take map control. Macfield Accelerator will cancel, maybe just a fake out initially for the Adept Scout. Although it was never seen to be upgrading. Now it's just going to be Stim on the barracks. So, Stim pack starting. Oracle, flies straight into the Cyclone. That's an issue because the Oracle was right on top of it as well. Scan to get the vision. And that's a dead Oracle already. herO again, a bit of a mistake. Just flies so close to the Cyclone. It gets locked onto. Too slow to turn around. Dead early Oracle. And I tell you what now, this immediately gives TY confidence to move on the map. Oh my god, Oracle number 2 has to be super careful here. And it is. But what does herO have to defend at home? Not much. Third base is going to be in a lot of trouble here if this attack continues across. The first Oracle lost. It's going to be seeing the Cyclone pulling around, trying to intercept that Oracle if it comes around the left side. Looks like TY will not go across, which is a shame because I really feel he could have denied this third base and taken away a lot of herO's early game investment. Well, now as we see it setting up, we are going to be seeing Marines of the Cyclone gathering back up in the natural. The Nexus on the third base. Chrono boosting away as well. Impact combat shields and the +1 attack. So TY still has the setup here to go into a very strong bio push and still will have opportunities to deny this third base with that bio attack. So that is still something we can watch out for here. He's setting up a bunker though. He's so afraid of what this could be. And that's the problem. He doesn't have the scouting information. No idea the third base is up and running. No idea how far behind he is on that. Until he gets medevacs up, TY will just sit back and allow herO to absolutely run away with the economy here in this game. It's tough to know if you don't scout the third base. All you've seen is an Oracle. There is no real telltale sign as to this is two Oracles and a super fast third versus anything else. TY being greedy, not scanning, having lost the Reaper and not getting another scout off. I mean, those are the sort of things that just he's trying to find information with an SCV. Well, that's not going to help him out much either, is it? TY just does not have the info and doesn't make any moves to get the info either. That's the other thing. That's what's also kind of missing here, as we see those medevacs boosting down at the bottom. Oracle. Over here as well, we'll drop a Revelation, so he sees the drop coming to the main already. Tell you what, he will be able to unload, though, and get all the Marines out if he would like to. And he unloads the fight against the Phoenix. Blink is about to come in as well. Just feels like hero's getting into such a good spot here. We do see a third CC going to start up now, but again, this third Nexus has been finished for a minute and a half, 2 minutes already. As the third CC of a Terran player starts, herO will run away massively with the economy, especially now that TY hits 2 base saturation. This is where herO really increases that worker gap from 10-ish to 15, 20, 25 maybe even, depending on how crazy this gets. Shouldn't be that crazy. TY is still building SCVs, so he's not completely cutting workers, so he is getting ready to immediately saturate this third base. herO's actually cutting workers himself. As he gets up to 60 probes, he says, well, that's all I need, because he doesn't take the gases on the third base. So actually herO gonna just be kind of stopping there for the moment, as he gets charged +1 attack, going into a second forge as well. Well, TY still has the army supply advantage for a little while. He has that upgrade lead for a little while. Well, he had to just for a moment or two. Actually, it's disappeared now. +1 attack upgrades finished on both sides of this for the moment. Nice catch on the medevac. Widowmine will get taken down too as it tries to burrow up. Good defense from herO, just good presence on the map. And TY not really finding the way to do anything at the moment, as this Bioforce pulling back towards the upper left-hand side. Medevac's just healing up here. All of these Marines getting healed back up to health. And we are going to be seeing this Stalker Force pushing forwards. A Marine gets picked up. Water gets taken down. A little bit of back and forth here so far. And the Phoenix is going to fly through the third base, and it's going to be seeing the missile turret setting up at the front as well. So the missile turret setting up between the natural and the third. TY will just get up to 3 bases, but again, herO's herO's had a good game set up, but it's not like the economy's been that ridiculous in the end. There was this little chunk where it was really good for him, but that's disappearing now. The third base is set up for TY. And so TY is not looking bad here. We'll build up into tanks and liberators, and so his army composition is starting to look very good. As TY pushing forwards, a little bit of bio, going to be able to find a Stalker already. Other Zealots coming across as well. Hanging out, bio pressing through. Zealot does go down. The other bio continue to press forwards as well. And well, again, herO now going up to a few more probes to saturate the 4th base to get the gas mining on the 3rd, which has only just now started. TY's 4th CC dropping down. So TY still keeping in this in the macro game. I mean, herO definitely making sacrifices here. Now that's interesting. 2 more factories. If this is 2 more factories, this is going to be even more tank play from TY. This is not going to be a switch to Widow Mines or anything like that usually. Usually this will just be continued tank production, which is obviously pretty interesting because, well, how often do you see players commit into this many siege tanks? It doesn't happen all that often. So TY going to change up his style a little bit here for Cyber Forest. So do you see those Stalkers going to go dancing around to the left. Another Liberator again, a kill there as well. And TY getting maxed out and Liberator tank. I mean, this is where TY likes to play. This is ideal for TY at the moment. He'll be very happy with how this is going as the bio. A little bit of all of these 7 forwards here. The Stalker's moving over to the right-hand side. And yeah, the bio jumping on top of this. Will chase, but will stim last to get the Stalker kill. It will. More flanking Marines actually helping out. And another Stalker going down. What was that blink? I'm not even sure. Things back. I guess it does save kind of the Stalkers and only loses 1 while keeping them in the fight. Over units showing up from herO, but I don't know if herO can push through with this sort of army. As Liberator mine, Liberator tank mostly. There's a couple mines mixed in. Now, I don't know if herO can push through into this, so herO is going into Colossus as a follow-up. He is now getting this tech online. The Stargate, the TvP can come in through as well, so he's getting ready to deal with the later game, so he definitely can't attack right now. CY about to be maxed out, though. Is that just time for him to go? He's getting ghosts in here. He's got tanks, liberators. Does he make an attack as he sets up this 4th base? Definitely a possibility as that command center starts to morph into a Plan 2 fortress already. Moving over to the far right-hand side, herO. Some of these units going to be backing away. Oracle came in, dropped a revelation on some of the Marines and the Marauders as well. And that War Prism with a few Zealots inside of it. Going to go over to the left. Zealots and Stalkers back up through the center of the map now from herO. Still being aggressive despite the fact that back at home he's got those Colossus on the way and so on, and Tempest. One tank gets caught. Not sure what's going on here suddenly from TY. A tank and a Liberator just wander into very bad positions, just into the middle of the map for no reason at all, really. Now we see a switch into Drilling Claws. So there's more going to be Drilling Claws in the end, and Widowmine's on the way up. Another Liberator picked up. I mean, what is TY hoping for by just sending them through the middle of the map? The Stalkers are still stood there. These Liberators definitely need to be controlled a little bit better. Almost as though something's going wrong, right? Because I don't know why those Liberators would run through like that. It's just so unlike TY. And they're not even going anywhere useful if they just run straight through the map like that either. That's the other thing. Here we're going to take a 5th base top right. These guys now have a base within a screen width of each other. TY probably won't think about that base. He's much more expecting this base down here to be taken initially. Pushes down this ramp. A bit of a fight breaking out so far. Ghosts are yet to drop their EMPs. Drops one on top of the Tempest. And the Tempest actually taking some damage here. The rest of the units not fighting down hold position. Which means that one of the Tempests goes down. Doesn't cost anything. More EMPs and shields and barriers on the Immortals are already picked away at now. Pressing forwards again. Tempest. Picking off the Ghosts which have gone to the front. Meanwhile, big SCVs. Colossus back at home as TY loses a lot of workers to Zealot run-bys in a lot of different bases. The thing is, I just don't know if I don't know if herO can hold off this push of TY because, yeah, the Tempests are good, but now the Marines seem to be fighting against them. Maybe there isn't too many. Here we go. Tanks are going to be doing a lot now as Zealots charge in. The Immortals coming forwards with this as well. I think herO is going to end up pushing this back with the Tempest in the sky as well. Tank after tank going down. So many workers lost on the other side. herO will still have the worker deficit in the the army supply deficit, but he's got a huge worker lead now. And he really reset the tech of the Terran player. Ghosts were dead, Liberators were dead, tanks are dead. Only Bio and Medevac's getting away here as herO is able to hold. If you wouldn't mind, load up from TY, going to head around the map. Getting this 5th base in a bit of an interesting spot. Definitely not where you'd expect it to be. I definitely don't think herO's expecting it to be there either, as Widowmine's left behind from the previous fight. Getting picked off. Medevac up here takes a shot from the Tempest. Will unload one Widowmine forwards, but it doesn't matter to the observers here. Medevac will continue down, but then there's cannons, and so what are you going to be able to achieve? Not a lot. TY pulling away his command centers from this top side of the map. He is killing some probes. I'm not actually sure where. Liberator or so. Yeah, Liberator siege right on top of the... I mean, how you meant to spot that on the minimap? God damn it. Siege right on top of the Protoss structures. Not kind of behind the mineral line as you expect. Oh my god, he kills 23 probes now because the Widow Mines have gone off as we're watching this fight. Suddenly TY's done a lot of worker damage, and herO losing out a little bit. These Tempests turning, kiting. There's just no real answer to the Tempest. It's the biggest issue right now as we see the 5th base of the Protoss going to be set up there. The SCVs went down. Random Stalker coming in here as well. The probes are a big loss. Again, we didn't see that on the screen. It was that Widow Mine drop just finding an opening while this fight was about to happen as well. So you can understand why, herO wasn't paying attention, because this fight was, again, kicking off, ready to go. He's got so many Tempests, and because of that, there's just no Liberators here from TY, which is dangerous because it means it doesn't have a sturdy force against the grab. It means those Tempests aren't as useful as they might want to be. Lines up an attack onto the Ghosts here. There we go, by pushing up this ramp, but there is going to be... Well, Widowmine's actually dropping in. Storm's available as well. Just don't think TY can really make his way up there, although he does hit the EMP on the High Templar. Only one Storm remaining. Now he will stim up this ramp. Okay, more High Templar walked in, but they won't have Storm energy yet. Back and forth, but it looks as though herO's just chipping away at a bit too much of TY. These Tempest still sight overhead. The bio. Oh, big storm now. Okay, well, this is too much. herO will take TY down in this game number 2 to tie the series up 1-1. Am I going to be all tied up going into game 3 of the best of 7? GG's pulled. herO taking it down, making a series out of this. Finals in the Olimoleague Monthly. To the top right-hand side, our blue Protoss player is herO. Up against the red Terran in the bottom left, TY. He was just not really being able to fight that later game Protoss army in that game. herO really just from the start sent up that very fast free base, and while it didn't, did look at times like he didn't do much with it, he's still able to run through. He didn't take any damage, and he was able to play the game how he wanted to. And TY, I think really at moments just sort of realized like, oh wow, like you've got a lot of stuff, and his big push with tanks and so on got cleaned up, and from there it's always going to be difficult to make it work. And indeed it was very difficult to make that work out. A couple SCVs pushing that probe away out further onto the map. Another SCV coming down the low ground. So again, this setup here, guys, at the moment. Meanwhile, Nexus on the way up. And it's just going to be seeing a simulator dropping, Cybercore building. Early game TvP. We've just cast so many TvPs a day. How many games have we actually cast? This is getting into ridiculous levels of TvP. We cast 5 in the round of 8, so 5 maps of TvP round of 8. 8 maps in the round of 4. So, do some quick maps, that's 13 maps, 15. So this is our 16th map of TvP in a row. So forgive me if I'm a little bit slow and stale in the early stages of the game and being a bit like la-di-da, not really mentioning much. So apologies for that. Do you see the adept in front of us at the moment? Would have mind. Sorry, grenade going in. Actually, that is going to be one probe already. So TY, some early damage done. Adept now out, and that Reaper will have to just turn away. Wonder if TY goes into some more fancy sort of early game builds. We've definitely seen a Marauder Hellion attack from him in one of his matches today. We'll see if he maybe wants to pull that out again. I mean, TY is one of these very inventive players while still playing very macro focused. But those early game openers for Terran are obviously so important. They have such a huge influence on how the game goes. Maybe he just goes back into some sort of a Raven build, because let's face it, every time he's used a Raven today, it's been spectacular. So not building the Raven in the last game, maybe that was his downfall. Twilight Council about to complete in the main base of herO. So that's his first tech choice here. Going to be scouted instantly by the Reaper. We'll see it upgrading as well. Okay, he did see it. So he sees the Twilight Council, knows that's upgrading. Blink as the opener here. Pretty standard from herO just to take some map control unless he really wants to try and all in. There is a little bit of space along this main base edge where a blink all in can be very powerful on this map. So you attack the front bunker here, so then you pull over here and you blink up to the main. It means there's 2 real points of defense you have to be on top of as TY. We'll see. Robo facility for the moment though coming up, and of course at the moment it's impossible to tell what the plan is. We'll see if extra gases get taken here on the natural as someone is lagging. That's me. That's a yikes. From Crank's stream here, guys, so it will be currently without any game sounds as we continue through in this game number 3 of herO versus TY. So continue on right now as we get this ready to go. Blink on the way up, Robo facility coming down, and it's just liberating a siege tank coming through. We'll see a couple of extra barracks getting added on as well. As we're going to be seeing the siege tank production is obviously a good way to stabilize in those early stages and to kind of go from there. So yeah, sorry for the little delay, guys. Sorry for obviously the disconnect. I mean, I just don't know what's going on. It is just that Korean server just decided not to keep us in there. As we do see 4 probes killed by the Widow Mine drop, which Crank was just a little bit late to jump to. I would have been as well. See, it's not just me that's a little bit late to jump to Widow Mine drops sometimes. Couple of forges coming down as well from herO at the moment. So again, a couple of forges going, and we do see the Observer, a couple of probes coming in as well. Stimpack on the way out from TY. He heads in towards this bio setup. And we do have the couple of refineries just coming in on the natural. So really just looking good to be set up at the moment. charge and 1-1 upgrades on the way. Obviously, it's all of the stuff that's going to make hero's army very powerful into the mid-game. And just to quickly answer, yes, obviously I will rejoin for game number 4 of the series in-game. As long as my internet's back. I mean, my internet's fine, but like as long as our connection to Korea's back, I think it is. We logged back in instantly okay. It's just one of those things where out of nowhere I just lagged out. Very strange. Very strange indeed. Alright, well, TY with an SEV coming in towards the upper right. Trying to scout around here in the early stages. Again, this is a best of 7, so the first 4 maps wins, which means we're guaranteed at least after this 2 more maps, which is awesome. Loads of StarCraft action guaranteed today. It's always great to see. I'm a fan. You guys are a fan as well. I know you guys are a fan. Who isn't a fan of StarCraft? Loads of games coming up. I love this format for the monthly finals. The best 7 final is feels very fitting. Feels very fitting. There's a lot on the line in this tournament as well. $250 first place, $150 for second, and then $50 for third place and fourth place combined. As we see the Stalkers there taking a little bit of a fight already. And it's looking for try and pick off that medevac as well. Marines still pressing forwards, the Marauders too. So far the Stalkers of herO haven't really slowed down too much. There's something going on in the back of the natural of herO as well. Looks like whatever it was has now been dealt with. Big stim from TY. He will load up the medevacs and drop into the main. The Stalkers are way out of position to help defend against this, so that's kind of a big deal. Siege Tank will siege up on the high ground too. Widowmine can siege on the low ground to protect against the Stalkers. And there's already a pylon under fire in that main base. Stalkers actually just blink around to get in towards the main themselves. Is going to target that pylon and empowers the gates and the forges. Blinks in, kills the tank. But good damage done by TY with the drop. Real opportunistic moment there from him. Sees the chance to drop in the main with the Stalkers out of position. Gets there. Deals a good amount of damage. Especially slowing down the 2-2 upgrades. Considering he's only just about to finish his own +1. Any delay on those 2-2 upgrades are going to go a big, going to be a big part of helping out in this. Widowmines and Bio in the center as the scan comes down. Well, Observer's actually about to fly into the scan, but turns around at the last moment on the bottom of the screen. TY only just now setting up a third command center, so going to continue trying to drop, but it feels like herO, having defended so far, is, continue with the upgrades, etc. He's in good position, so the drop won't do much either, and it feels like TY is currently not able to really find a way to make this work. It's going to be a blink away from Stalkers against that Widowmine, although the Zealots were still in range for it to be splashed. Drop down at the bottom side as well. Again, this is TY just trying to pick herO apart. Trying to do something. Good thing for TY, herO is not really mining from this third base. Only just now sending probes over to it. So, despite TY's third being late, herO's not had a insane economy himself per se. This drop doesn't exactly do much though. Hallucinated Phoenix sees the medevacs coming in. Great usage of the Sentry energy, that hallucination. Big scout, especially when TY's shown interest in going for larger drops here. I think, setting up that hallucination there is very mature, especially in a game where you don't want to spend the gas or the time building up an observer. I think it's a great use of the sentries as those medevacs loaded up again. They're going to dive the main base, so they're going to get in here. The Stalkers are again out of position in the middle of the map, and this time this army's going to drop on top. Can he deny +2 armor? It's very close, but I don't think so unless he target fires it right away, which he doesn't. So not target fire in that. +2 armor will... Ooh, well, it's actually denied because the pylon went down. Stalkers blinking in as TY's army in the back here. Trading out another Widowmine going to get burrowed as well. We'll be able to go off into the center of the Protoss. Hits a sentry and some splash to go with it. Just a shame he didn't get that +2 armor upgrade. As TY really going to struggle, being down an entire set of upgrades soon. Getting some ghosts up though, so can continue with the pressure from this. As we are going to be seeing these few medevacs just hanging out up to the top. TY. A few medevacs are moving around, jumping around all over the place. Pylon repowers the forges and the gates, and so the +2 armor completes. It's going to be seen the medevacs trying to drop the main base once again. The Stalkers from the bottom side of herO trying to come in as well. Mule's going to drop down, and just going to be seeing the medevacs again on the top, having to pull away here. As we do have the Stalkers able to pick off that Marine. And there's a little bit of Bio, the Ghosts looking to try and defend. TY in some trouble though, I think. Still has these drops out on the map, but if the entire army of heroes over here, then what on earth is TY going to be able to defend this with? Well, I guess what is herO going to defend this with? push in towards his third base. He could maybe just recall a bit of this army. He's already killed the third CC. He recalls a good chunk of Stalkers and Immortals, and he will be able to deflect the army. It keeps the third Nexus alive. Yeah, a couple of Widowmines going off, but now he's blinking in, and he's also got the units coming in from the left side, so these Medivacs are really in a spot of bother. There, get you in game ASAP. And give me a moment to actually set the scoreboard. And away we go to the top left side, our blue Protoss player. This from TSG, a Chinese team. He's going to be playing in the Chinese Team Championship, which I'm going to be casting myself, actually. The information for that and the announcement on Team Liquid now. This is the top left side, is herO. Up against the red Terran bottom right from Splice, TY. Okay, so game number 4 of this best of 7. As we set this up, we get this underway. It's going to be a barracks proxy from TY. So we're going to be opening up with the early Reaper. This will keep, obviously, I mean, it means that you're going to expand a bit later, take a factory at home. It means there's not going to be any sort of a depth pressure on the command center early, though. Maybe a chance to get some worker kills, too. So far, TY's Reapers have been doing very well against herO, even when they aren't proxied. So now they're proxied. Let's see what will happen. That's going to be seeing this racks finishing in a few moments. Again, Gateway about to finish up in the main. And that barracks can finish, set up a Reaper, and move forwards. Oh, a tech lab. Okay, that works too. Going to be a little bit funky then. Going to be building into the Marauders and the Concussive Shells. There's nothing at home though, so there's no kind of Marines coming in to support this. If he wants a factory, it's going to be tough to afford a factory as well, but he is going to get there. Okay, well. Marauder and the Concussive Shells upgrade to begin. I imagine this is going to just look like a little bit of a build that we saw before, like a Hellion Marauder push in. There's the Concussive Shell getting started. Oh, the Zealot's going to scout this though. Really nice from herO, who hasn't scouted all this game. He walks straight into this here. The Zealot was trying to come down the left side. The Marauder will chase it, but no Concussive Shells yet means the Zealot will survive. What a scout from herO. He was just one base himself. I was maybe neglecting to show that. He's gone into a fairly fast Stargate here, so TY perhaps in some trouble. Factory lift's going to cancel Concussive Shells and put the factory onto the tech lab ASAP. So many shield batteries coming up, and again, no expansion to play with either. Marauders getting more damage onto that. Adept will turn and get rid of this probe as well. Adept shading around. Macfield Accelerator will start up, but it's not looking pretty for TY. With the information that herO has to work with, he's now started a Void Ray. Marauders are targeting down the pylon in the main, but Stalker pops out and that will deny this for a little while. There's the shield batteries here as well. I just don't see what else we do. Stalker picks off the Marauder. TY is absolutely falling apart right now. We'll drop a barracks on the high ground. Just going to be seeing the Stalker continue to push this though, and the barracks will not be able to land. I mean, Cyclone coming in, but again, if the shield batteries here, the Stalkers can take some hits. Takes forever to get Macfield Accelerator up nowadays, though. The extra gateway going to be big here. The Void Ray, as long as it can kind of sit around on the high ground and not get locked onto and kite it too heavily, it should be alright. There is an engineering bay up, and there is a missile turret started out of TY, so he is going to get a missile turret here to help deflect the Void Ray. Because the Cyclones will be able to lock on. Obviously, you can use that barracks for the high ground vision and for just extra vision in general. So the Stalker already getting some good damage onto that Cyclone though. Next Void Ray coming up as well. That's a double lock on here, but the Stalker can get far enough away. And again, that first Cyclone already pretty low. Has to back away to get repaired. He's doing a good job draining the shield battery energy. Wouldn't mind seeing even another shield battery added on at the front, because again, at the moment, herO's looking great as long as he continues to shut this down. Starport coming in on the main base, and we do see the SCV. Another one coming across the map. I mean, more repairs, etc. Definitely going to be useful here. Barracks still wants to try and land, even just soaking some hits here. Nice force field though, blocks the Cyclones, and that means 2 of the Cyclones drop, and these SCVs in trouble, so that takes away the repair potential on the Cyclones. Huge moment right then by herO, although he does lose one of the Stalkers. He gets a little bit too aggressive, maybe chasing those Cyclones down. Getting rid of this barracks is absolutely huge as well, because the barracks going down, suddenly creates this moment where you don't have high ground vision anymore. You don't have that potential kind of just range on the Cyclones that you really want, because you need everything you can get to work with here. Sentry is going to give itself up to the Widowmine, really? Wow, interesting. I mean, I guess in terms of what's useful fighting against the Cyclones, the Sentry is the least useful unless you get a force field off. This missile turret will get picked off as well. Cyclones headed back home. In the end, TY will be the first to start an expansion, something seen by herO. The thing is, I wonder if herO even lets this happen, because herO could maybe just continue across the map and just deal a lot of damage himself. Right? I mean, the factory's being denied here. He's got 2 Void Rays. He builds a rubber facility. He does get a Nexus too. Pylon on the low ground is found, is going to get shut down as the structures over here get picked off as well. That means no factory play. Starport currently building up Cloak Banshee. And that Cloak Banshee is really the one thing that TY can rely on, but he isn't even going to have Cloak right away. He has the Cyclones lock on. Stalker's pulled back, getting out of range there, and the Void's about to show up as well. So be really careful with the Voids, because the lock on is going to be scary, although it does kill one of the Cyclones. There is just nothing here. There is like 2 Cyclones, and that is it. And at the very least, you're going to be able to pick away very nicely at these supply depots and so on. That one Cyclone's super low. At least now the Stalkers, the SCVs can maybe repair, but then the Stalkers break through anyways. Next Cyclone's taking some damage. Missile turret in the mineral line will help. Sees the Cloak Banshees as well, so he knows he's going to need detection here very shortly. First Banshee heading away to the bottom, but again, definitely saw the Cloak on the starport, so should know what's going on here. This herO is going to back away. Twilight Council coming up to being about halfway done. The Phoenix about halfway along as well. You do see that third Nexus now dropping down from herO. So already going up to 3 bases. That's crazy, because he was later on the expansion than TY. And now he goes straight up to 3 bases. And there's going to be seeing a couple of Cyclones heading up to the top. Hallucination coming in to scout. The Banshee's just out with the Cyclones as well. TY, 33 to 34 workers, 34 each is actually not bad for him, of course, as the Terran player being equal is generally a good side. Just turned into a bit of a weird game, and I wonder if TY has found enough damage overall here to make this work out. Pylon comes down, so Assimilator is being taken in this natural expansion. Again, the 2 Cyclones, the Banshee, heading towards the top side as we do see that Hallucination fading away. Third Nexus, lock on here. Lock on's doing a lot of damage to the buildings with that mag field, but it's only 2 Cyclones. I mean, you can still see they've done almost the entirety of the shields here, and they're going to do more as well. Phoenix will lift one of them just to cancel the lock on. It's actually getting really close. In a moment or so, herO has to really kind of respond to this. Oh, the Cyclones missed micro there by TY. That's an issue. Banshee in the main base does find 6 pro kills though. Observer now, Son, did you just not know that this was... I mean, he's just very unprepared for this, even though he definitely knew about it. 7 workers and a sentry. Banshee has a very good time. Was there another Banshee? There was not. It was just that one. He actually cancelled Banshee number 2. How intriguing. Wanted to get that Raven up nice and quickly, apparently. Well, third Nexus just chrono boosting up as we see the Phoenix just hanging out up in the skies. Again, going to be seeing those Marines of TY heading up the right side of the map as well. And herO just ahead by 2 workers at the moment. TY can continue with some pressure here though. If he hadn't lost those Cyclones the way he did, that was a real shame. Just wandering them forwards, had so much more potential with those still, even if he just brought them into the next attack. I love this move by TY, the push forward to grab the Observer with the Raven scouting and detection. It's really, really awesome. Something he was doing earlier as well. Really good. Just shuts down so much information, takes away so much info from your opponents. As we do see that command center on the third base. Still just coming up. Raven looks as though it's just going to maybe peel away to go harass, but decides not to. It's difficult to justify because there's Void Rays on the map, so he can't just hide away out of reach of ground units. Phoenix here actually going to come and intercept these medevacs, and we'll get a little bit of damage onto them. Medevacs here going to load up and probably drop around towards the main base rather than committing to the third. Raven is just going to stick out the front, maybe try and hit the third base while this drop hits the main. There's already a Immortal here, but you can outposition it a little bit, at least for the unload. Phoenix starting to head back home. Void Ray is now going to start coming into the main to respond to this. I mean, again, not really much to back up the Immortals since Alex walked in. Now the Void Ray showing up, but I mean, it is Marines. They will get rid of Void Rays very quickly. And already, Border is going down. TY loads and goes to the third base now. And now herO is really out of position. herO's struggling. Probes continue to drop. There's only a few Marines left over. All the turrets now going to come down as well, as Widowmines will set themselves up. And this is a push to try and kill this third base as reinforcements arrive also. More probes going down. Widowmines going off on the couple of initial zealots. Nexus will fall. These last few Marines want to be careful here, but they will get rid of the Phoenix. Good pickoffs. Means he can then lift up and escape with kind of clarity in mind that he's going to get away. herO will type out GG then and there. TY turns it around. Bit of a funky game, bit of a weird one with the way it opened, of course, the way it got set up. Game number 4 really set up in such a cool little way. With the just the way he moved the units around, dropped in the main, then dropped back to the third base and reinforced the third base with the next push. Nicely done. TY to the top left is our blue Terran player from Splice. Putting his barracks outside of the main to try and trick herO a little bit, maybe force an overreaction. But in reality, that barracks is just going to fly back into the main very easily. That's the bottom right-hand side. herO is our red Protoss player, as we're tied up 2-2. Still, people asking about replays of Olimoleague in the chat. If you want Olimoleague replays, !Olimoleague in the chat will give you the Patreon page where you can support the tournament. Really, really good value replay packs with great Korean players, so do check that out. !Olimoleague will give you the link to the Olimoleague Patreon, and you can support over there. Factory coming in from TY, as we do see the SCV and this probe going up against each other. A bit of a skirmish. And the Reaper of TY going to hop up as well and chase down that probe. So probe will end up falling. So nice shutdown. The Rax comes back in. Obviously the probe knows the Reaper was kind of close to home, so shouldn't be too worried about it anymore. The Nexus was coming down anyways, but with the faster factory, TY will still be able to apply a decent amount of pressure here. Reaper down to the bottom right, and we are going to be seeing again the factory about to finish up. Reaper just scanning around, see the Nexus obviously knows there'll be an adept nearby. TY was actually slow to pull that Reaper away, so actually loses the Reaper. Let it take 2 shots initially, which was bad because the adept shade was going to catch it for shot number 3, so he tried to do some funky stuff to trick the adept, but it didn't work, and the Reaper actually falls. So limited scout and information available now for TY compared to where he would like to be. Chili Down asking, Wardy, I'm new to this tournament. This is a larger final tournament, but do they have smaller weekly competitions as well? Yes, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Korea time, which is currently midday CET until the clocks change. 8 p.m. Korea time is the Olimoleague. You can usually watch it on Maynard's stream. I'm just filling in for Maynard this week. But yes, it's a weekly competition funded by the Patreon. So again, !Olimoleague, check it out. You can support this event. And yes, it happens every week. Weekly competition, then a monthly finals every month, which takes the top players and just makes a bit of a finals out of it. So you see this adept coming all the way down to the bottom side of the map. Meanwhile, a probe heading in towards the upper left side as well. Robot facility dropping down in the natural expansion here. So again, that robot facility started up. And you see Stalkers and a Zealot pressing forwards as the probe comes into the natural and gets that going. So the expansion from TY, not on the low ground, it's up in the main. It's TY going into 2 tech labs, one on the starport, one on the factory. May see a Raven here once again. It's going to actually be Banshee, okay. I don't know if this is TY wanting to set up into like Marine Tank Banshee like we saw Innovation doing earlier. Currently not having a great time, losing a bunch of Marines to Stalkers that herO has pushed across the map. With the Zealot leading the charge, there isn't actually really, is there anything here for TY? Apart from these Stalker Marines? Oh my god, well that's because it drops across the map. He kills 11 probes. How many times today is herO going to fall victim to a Widowmine drop, doing an insane amount of damage? Siege Tank will pop, and with the SCVs pulling down, there should be a defense from TY, but obviously it's not clean, it's not pretty. But those 11 workers will definitely help him out. Medevac just hiding in the back of the main in that corner for a moment or two. Starport lifts off the tech lab. Factory will drop down onto it as well. Widowmine's burrowing once again, and again, just going to be able to pick up a couple of these probes. Getting some good damage done. Another couple of workers getting picked away at so far. Stalker's actually going to go down too, though. That Widowmine's still getting kills. TY really fighting over on this side of the map, and there's only 5 workers behind. Although still does also need to move this natural to the low ground and then drop those mules. He's been waiting for that natural to be on the low ground to do that. Stuff though, needs another tank probably at least, because well, he got delayed by killing the tech lab. Actually, herO delayed the next tank, which is actually going to really power up this next attack from him. Means TY is still not capable of moving down to the low ground comfortably. Medevac from TY out in the center, the Warp Prism up to the top, a couple of depths and a Stalker pressing forwards, picking off a Marine. Just going to be seen again. Marines and tanks gathered together. There's the Widowmine back in for 4 more kills. Widow's really taking a beating when it comes to economy this game. Yeah, the tank fire should be good here. Oh, he interferes. Matrix is the wrong thing. If he matrixed the Warp Prism, he would have stopped anything from lifting up. That was a misclick by TY. First time I've really seen that Raven not being used as efficiently as it could be. If I get down to the low ground, we'll be able to drop his mules finally. And TY be able to start playing catch-up in this economy, because it has been ping-ponging a little bit, and TY should be able to keep it with these mules for the moment as well. And just the natural expansion being able to mine is obviously wonderful too, as you see this forward pylon picked off. And this medevac is trying to head back home. Stalker's coming in, no boost available. Widowmine will try and burrow, and actually will be able to, but the Warp Prism micro is good. Stalker will be saved. Storm going to be chrono boosting out of the Templar Archives, so going straight towards this, but not sure how much that helps you defend this attack right now. As oh my god, 2 Depth Shade right into this. Great initial pickoffs from TY, who up 24 army supply is looking really dangerous. Obviously, High Templars are dangerous if they have storms, but storms aren't ready yet. That is kind of the problem at the moment. And these pressing forwards, you can see TY wants to get real up close and personal with those tanks before he sieges them. Gateway at the front going to be taking some damage. Nice feedback from the Banshee and the Raven. Got some damage done. Obviously, taking some low on energy, so they can't use. I mean, Banshee can't use Cloak, but it really does just do damage to it, which helps out a lot. Tank target firing the Stalkers, which is brilliant as well, because if the tank targets the Zealots, the friendly fire is insane. Tanks down in range of the robot facility, Immortal will cancel, realizing this is not going to come out here. And the bunker of Warlock is set up, so it's very difficult to push through this. The charge doesn't do much, but oh my god! The storms are disgusting. Hits every single one of the Marines. All of the Marines go down. And herO now jumping on top of this army. Might just be able to push it away. It's still real close. The Archon is going to be enough. The storms! Absolutely disgusting. Hitting every little Marine in that pocket. I just don't think TY at any point saw the High Templar. Some thunder to bring us into this game. That's the bottom left-hand side. Our blue Protoss player. On match point, this is herO. Up against the red Terran in the top right-hand side from Splice, it's TY. Okay, so game 6 of the series here. As you do see, the barracks going to drop down from TY. Just to the top of this natural. Probe coming through, and is going to find it immediately. I mean, what a scout from herO. Instant find it. I mean, that's just, it's just a... That's not why I was going to say that's just a cancel and build it at home situation. But that's